First of all, Sucheeta ma'am, it's wonderful to see you in Indiawaali Maa. How are you doing?
I'm doing extremely well, extremely well. The response is overwhelming. And yeah, we have worked so hard for the past year and a half on the scripts, on the show, on the character. And it's been received very well. So I feel that all the hard work was worth it.
Yes, definitely. It's always wonderful because we've always seen you essay simple characters who are determined by their emotions. For example, Meenakshi Thakkar in Babu or Baby. Is this the reason why you've
Yeah.
kind of chosen to do India Wali Ma in a way? Because you've kind of explored characters which are more like naive and think from their heart more as well.
Before this show, I had done this show called Ishq Mein Mar Jawa, which was a complete negative. She was a murderer and a psychopath and stuff like that. So yeah, that was received very well too. But when this came to me, this character, this offer came to me, I just couldn't refuse because it was the most purest
Love,
form of
love.
humanity called
Mm.
mother.
Yeah.
So I had to take this up because it's the only relationship in today's age and time which is honest, which is truth. you
Mm.
know so and it was extremely tempting because the brief that was given to me by the channel was that we want to play it really real to life. We don't want any melodrama. We want
Mm.
conversation. We don't want dialogue baji.
Ha. Right. That's true.
So
And I
that
think
was extremely.
also Suchita ma'am as well. Having played matriarchal characters in the past with uh, roles like, for example, in Ek Dusre Se Karte Hai Pyar Hum, what approach does an actor necessarily require to play the role of one of a strong mother in particular?
uh, First of all, for any actor studying any kind of role, studying any kind of character, one must be extremely observant about life in general around you.
Hmm. Right.
And what is your purpose in that scene? What are you conveying?
Mhm.
So acting has its own maths, it has its own geometry, it has its own geography and history
Right.
and a grammar which has to be studied and which you have to be trained for
Hmm.
studying that. And believe me, this is one study which never gets over because with every coming new time and new tide, um, the pattern of acting, the pattern of presentation, direction, everything changes. So
Hmm.
you have to keep on evolving, you have to keep on moving with the times, like
Right.
any other profession.
Yes, that is very true. In fact, when I spoke with Ramesh Sippy sir as well for an interview, he always said that if you don't sort of move with the changing times, you become irrelevant as well. And I think that's a very important aspect that you've touched upon there as well. But it's so nice to see a series on Gujarati characters without it being stereotypical or loud and brash, as we've seen a lot on Indian
Yes.
television a lot. But how do you feel about the way Gujaratis generally have been portrayed in Hindi television and cinema, and what do you think can be improved?
Mm, See, it all depends upon um, the maker and the demand in the market at that point of time. See, where I see, for me, the best portrayal of a Gujarati character is Guru, the film.
Yeah, yeah. That's true.
And of course, Gandhi.
Mm.
So, the most two iconic Gujaratis of our times or the time to come is Mahatma Gandhi, and of course, the film which was made on Sardar Patel, played by
Mm.
Paresh Rawal.
Yeah. That was amazing.
That was amazing. And if you go back to Manthan and the way Gujaratis have been portrayed by Ketan Mehta and everybody, it's just that those movies have taken a back seat But if you refer to those films, I feel I have no complaints.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if undia, fafda, mathia, everything, and fafda jalebi is selling, sell it. We are Gujaratis, we have to sell it.
Love it, love it. I think that's great. No, I think it's great, but I think the reason why I ask this is because we're seeing a very big shift towards Gujarati content and Gujarati artists as well, which I will be touching upon very shortly. But before that, we were speaking about Meenakshi from Babu Baby earlier. I don't think any of us can ever forget her Kolkata se 100 meter ki duri, but I think that's still a very iconic line, which you've managed to kind of
Yes,
immortalize
yes,
within the audience's hearts. Um, so,
yes.
how difficult was it for you to kind of break away from that character? Because as I mentioned, it's so iconic, and even now, even like 10 years down the line, people still remember it. So, how difficult was it for you to initially break away from that mold?
Yeah, you know what, Anuj, I have been watching a lot of web series. I've been watching a lot of content on Netflix and on all other OTT platforms, and the way pattern of acting and presentation and the way everything has changed. It was so motivating. It was so inspiring for me. I was just so jealous. I just wanted to be on the other side of the TV and be there in those projects. So I had made a mental note that I'm not going to take up anything which I have done so far. I would want to play a, a Gujarati role or an innocent role or a naive role, but with a very real to life feel to it.
Hmm.
And that's what just happened. I stumbled upon Indiawaali Maa, and it's great. I'm
Hmm.
getting to do what I have been dying, itching to do.
Right. Right. So perhaps arguably, I think probably Meenakshi was good for a time because it obviously broke the glass.
And no, wait. I want to make one point extremely clear. That's what I was thinking. Okay,
Hmm.
ए, जो real to life acting करवी
Hmm.
અને real to life ની acting કરવી
True.
are two different things.
Huh.
One actor should never forget that whatever series or movie or anything that is being made is made for it to be sold.
Huh.
The entertainment value from it should never go. I would never want to be called a natural actress if I don't entertain my audience.
Right. Right. That's true. No, it's true.
So you have to maintain that balance.
Hmm.
Otherwise nobody buys you, and that doesn't work.
Hmm. So what would you say has been your guide for balancing that and having that equilibrium in your life as well as an actor?
I just practice hard work, practice of being observant. એવું નથી કે every day morning I get up and do some voice exercises, or I go and do uh,
Yeah,
some
rituals.
yeah. Yeah, I do attend some workshops, and I see to it that now I have my acting coach, or whatever workshops I go for people who are younger to me, the young
Oh,
makers.
okay. Huh. Right. So
So
I guess
because they are the future, they are the present.
hmm, hmm. And I guess
So
you can learn a lot as well from them as well, isn't it? I guess you can kind of get a
they help
new
you
yeah,
perspective, and
exactly.
they help you to unlearn what you have learned so far, what you are used to doing so far. They help you to unlearn all that and start afresh.
Right.
So that's the trick.
Hmm. That's a very interesting technique to have as well. And I think it's important because I think when we talk about acting, people often think that all I ever imagine is someone just sitting in like a dark studio doing Shakespeare, reciting Shakespeare dialogues and things like that. But I think when you describe this sort of approach to acting, I think it just opens one's eyes a little bit and makes it sort of normalize and a bit more informal in a way as well. So I think that's very interesting sort of technique you mentioned there. But I believe you actually began your acting career as a child artist, if I'm not wrong, in
Yes,
Vosa Din.
yes,
So
yes.
So what were your expectations during those days like? I mean, because you must have been really young. However, if at all, did those expectations change significantly when you matured and gained more experience in the field?
Yeah, you know what? Wosa din I was Boni Kapoor. I think somebody from his family was hospitalized, and my grandfather was hospitalized, and I was playing outside his room, and that's when Boni ji just approached me because he saw me, whatever I was doing at that point of time. So he told me, "Will you do my film?" So I said yes. So he said, "Okay, you said yes. Now let me speak to your father. Do you have any parents around you right now?" I said, "Yes, my father's in the room." So that's how they met. And my father refused that, "No way, she has school." She said, "We'll take care of her school. We'll only shoot with her Saturday, Sundays." And my father just refused. So I threw a tantrum. I started swimming on the floor. And I was like, I am doing this film. I always wanted to become an actor, Anuj. I
Wow.
was so clear at the age of 6.
Mm. Wow.
So yeah, that's how it happened. And those days were something else. I was shooting in RK Studios. I was blessed by Raj Kapoor. I used to hang around with Shashi Kapoor because he was shooting for something else there. And he used to just take me from my set, and I used to hang around with Shashi Kapoor. And my first crush was his son Kunal.
Oh
I was like,
yeah.
oh my god, I've not seen somebody so good looking ever.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of that. I think it's Kunal and I think Shashi Kapoor. I think are always like the sweethearts. I think that have always attracted like attention from women and I'm sure men too as well. And I think it's quite interesting how to hear that. So it's been a very deep rooted wish of yours to become an actor. So it's not. I mean, even though the both have been happened by chance and stuff, but I think growing up at that time as well. I mean, you did mention a bit about the education and balancing that as well, and we were talking about balancing as well just a while back. So, what was it like for you balancing education with doing films? Because it's completely two different worlds, right? So, how did you get that right uh, balance then as well?
So I did some films. I did 5 films when I was a child. And then I stopped. My father stopped me from acting when I was in 5th or 6th standard. Then I finished my 10th,
Huh?
and I was very, very clear that I wanted to become an actor.
Right.
So I did not, I did not take up science. I did not take up commerce. I just took up arts because that's the word that attracted me the most.
Hmm. Hmm.
I just took that. I took that up. I straight entered. I saw my classroom where it is, and then after that, I straight entered Mithibai drama team.
Wow.
And I had read it, Hamrahi. There was a show on DD called Hamrahi where Sadia Siddiqui and everybody was acting, um, and I had read about them that they were picked up from Mithibai drama team.
Hmm.
So I was like, okay, so that's the place I have to go and start my career.
Ah.
And when I reached my 12th SYJC, my 12th standard, Sanjeev Bhattacharya was casting for campus,
Okay.
and he wanted this all the students, because it was a show on college life.
Right.
So that's how we were all picked up from me, Nanad, Resham, Tipnis. We were all picked up from that space. Paratosh Painter, who is a very successful producer now.
Yes.
Um, yeah,
Wow.
so so that's how it all started.
This is so incredible. I think because when I think when in Indian families in particular, I think when a child says they want to become an actor, I think parents are often very skeptical about it because of the fact that it's a very uncertain industry. You don't know when you're going to get your next paycheck and and when you're going to get your next work as well. So it seems like your parents were very, very supportive of you when you were
They were not.
growing up.
They were not.
They
My
were
I have taken slaps from my father
really.
because I used to lie to him and go and do my plays. And he knew, so he would stand outside the wing. So I would come after one entry, come out, take one kapli
Oh,
from him,
oh,
and go back and do my entry again.
oh, really? Oh, wow.
And and when finally when he gave up, we had a meeting with all my chachas and all my kakas, you know how joint family system
Yeah.
works.
Yeah.
So yeah, so all my kakas and all, they all told me, the head of the family, that I don't want Sucheeta Trivedi's name in any media, for the good or for the bad. You want to go and act, just go and act. We are totally against it, but just go and do it because you're not listening to us.
Whoa.
So that's how it was. And once I started achieving some kind of recognition, the same kakas say, આ તો મારી ભાણેજ છે અને આ તો મારી દીકરી છે અને આ તો મારી ભાઈની આ છે, and all that happened.
Yeah, suddenly they want to like have a bit of a what do you call it? They want a piece of your pie, right? Like that's basically. But like every time that happens, I've noticed that change actually. When you do achieve some success in the creative field, suddenly everyone remembers that you're related to them. Otherwise, you know, they didn't really care. I do understand that, and I can really resonate with that. But you've done well, I think, to break through, and I think it's just incredible to see your trajectory as an actor.
Sweet, thank you.
But you know, Sucheeta ma'am, you've also been a key figure in Gujarati stage and cinema as well. You know, the Gujarati films are on a revival at the moment. We're seeing a lot more attention given towards this cinema in particular. What can we as a community do to encourage our culture through the performing arts and sort of support it and make sure that it keeps rising?
You know what? Till the audience doesn't evolve, till the audience doesn't have um, they don't have taste, how can cinema evolve?
Right. Mm.
You know, I think the basic need for education and for exposure is extremely necessary. Today, even if you to nana gamrama just say, they still want that chanya choli perine, that dandiya garba, and you know, those things.
Yeah.
Yeah, the kind of taste that a common Marathi man has in India, if you see their content, it is mind blowing.
Oh.
Even the South Indian film industry, for that matter of fact.
Yeah.
It's education. It all starts from there.
Yeah.
You get it, because today Gujarati, if I want to produce a film, I'm putting in my 1 crore, and I want to, of course, at least get that back.
Yeah.
I will have to only cater to people who will come to watch, who are the ticket buyers, na?
Right.
So the only thing that we can do as good makers is just and spend time with your elders and your young ones, and if they are doing their TikTok and their selfies, at least you know, at least get their attention and tell them about our culture in a fun way, tell them about our history, tell them about you know, the way we are,
Right.
with a lot of pride.
Yeah.
Basic education and exposure is extremely necessary for a common man to watch evolved cinema, or to choose to watch evolved cinema.
Yeah.
And as a family, as a middle class, lower middle class, upper middle class, educated family, we have to spend a lot of time with our elders, because they are the ones who will tell you about life, because they have seen it before us, technically.
Right.
To know about our own history, to know and like about our own history, about our own culture, about our own roots, is extremely important. Like ventilator, for example, you know, in that 2.5 hours, ગુજરાતમાં જ કેટલા બધા કલ્ચર દેખાડ્યા. They were the Kathiawadi, they were people from Navsari.
I saw that. Yeah.
You saw all of that. You saw different dialects that people spoke. When I spoke only Gujarati. I didn't have an accent because I was from Ahmedabad.
Right.
But people who are coming from the village, they spoke very different Gujarati. So to know about that, to know about that and to enjoy it, is then only you will be able to see different kinds of cinema. Then only we will be able to
Oh,
portray Gujaratis in a different light.
right. Yeah.
To answer your previous question also.
Yeah. No, you know what? I think you've hit the nail on the head there, and I think it's interesting you say this because I actually interviewed Pathak ma'am over the phone, and I think this is what she was saying because a lot of times when she's had ideas and I think she said something along the lines of, about why we can't make such films which are about our culture, about like our history as well. There's so much music and so much literature that we have, but I feel like the audience just want to laugh. She goes like haswo joy. I think she mentioned something like that in the interview as well. So I think it was quite interesting you said that as well, and I think we need to evolve as audiences, and I think that's definitely something that I vouch for as well.
Like
Um,
which had just come called Hilaro. Do you know about
yeah.
that movie?
Oh, of course. I watched it when it first came out here in UK. Yes.
Yeah. Now, I'm so happy that a movie, this kind of a movie was like somebody was brave enough to conceive it and to make it, and it's been received so well.
Mm, indeed. It's definitely broken the glass ceiling as well for Gujarati cinema. And I think that's definitely something. It's a good start, I think, for all of us as well to see. But I think Suchita, ma'am, because I think time is also running out as well. Due to the increasing popularity of digital platforms, the landscape of television is changing, and so is the viewer's appetite for content. I think you even said that you've been watching a lot of OTT content recently. Somehow, we're still seeing female characters fall prey to patriarchy. In what way do you think Indiawaali Maa will be able to change that narrative and present a new perspective for viewers?
You know what? Indiawali Maa is on a very initial stage right now. So I don't know that one, but I feel that there shouldn't be any patriarchy or matriarchy. It should be a balanced family that should be encouraged. A man is as important as a father is as important as a mother.
Indeed. Mm.
So I feel that they should just, that whole dominance of a man on a woman or a dominance of a woman on a man. I don't like that concept only. I don't like to see it that
Mm.
it should any relationship should be showed in a very balanced, in a very positive way
Mm.
for you know
Mm.
for people, and yeah, and that should change. That should be encouraged.
Equality. So a balanced, equal camaraderie between both of them rather than just one over the other, which makes sense as well. And I think we're all striving for that. I think every content that we're seeing nowadays as well is trying to break that glass ceiling as well.
Biologically and scientifically and physiologically, every human being is made from these two elements only, no, male and female.
Mm. Right.
So it should be always balanced.
Mm. I agree. I agree. And I'm hoping that we continue to see this more balanced representation as well as time goes by. But Sujita ma'am, I just want to say it was so wonderful to get this opportunity to speak with you. I know network hasn't completely been on our side today.
Thank you so much, Anuj. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Oh, thank you. Kuku Baba, thank you. And wishing you all the very best for Indiawaali Maa and, of course, all forthcoming projects. And yeah, I can't wait to see how Kaku conquers her own will and her own motherhood. And I can't wait to see that.
Yes, it's going to be super fun, super fun. And when you come to India, Anuj, do visit me. I would like to meet you in person.
Oh, wow. Be my pleasure. It'll honestly be my pleasure. I would love to a lot.
Yeah, JD gave me a very nice compliment the other day. He told me that, after seeing your first and second episode of Indiawali Maa, I just forgot Minakshi and I could only see Kaku. I was like,
Wow.
wow, thank
That's
from the
big.
maker himself. Yeah.
Yeah. And that too for such an iconic character. Like we talked about brushing off. I mean, there we go. It's done.
Yes.
Fantastic, fantastic. Well, thank you very much, ma'am, and wishing you all the very best once again. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Jai Mataji. Bye.
Hey,
See
Mataji,
you.
bye. See you.
See you.